Finally, they released the footage of this fatal incident that happened between Austin Metcalf and Karmelo Anthony at the track meet. The facility in which the track meet was held does have very distant video footage of the incident taking place.
You're seated just a few rows back when the courtroom doors swing open and Karmelo Anthony walks in. Not as a defendant this time, but as a witness. The energy in the room shifts instantly. Even the judge seems taken aback for a moment. This isn't what anyone expected. Just days after his parents were indicted for first-degree murder, Karmelo is here to testify, and what he says next leaves the entire room stunned. He walks to the stand slowly, shoulders low, eyes heavy. It's the face of a son torn between loyalty and truth. The prosecutor's tone is soft, almost cautious, as she begins. Mr. Anthony, did your parents ever speak to you directly about the night of the incident? There's a pause, a long one, and then he nods. I didn't want to believe it, Karmelo says, voice cracking. But they knew. My dad told me to get rid of the knife. My mom said we could fix it if I didn't say anything. The gallery gasps. You can feel the emotion ripple through the room like a thunderclap. Karmelo wipes his eyes with the sleeve of his suit jacket as reporters scribble notes furiously. Behind him, his mother lowers her head, and his father grips the table with white knuckles. The prosecution presses further. Did they ever mention what to say to the police? Karmelo hesitates. They said, say it was self-defense, that he came at me, that it was dark, confusing. You watch as the defense attorney slumps slightly, his strategy dissolving in real time. The entire case has shifted. This isn't just evidence, it's betrayal. And now the question that's hanging in the air like smoke. If your own child exposes you in court, what were you really hiding in the first place? You're staring at the jurors now, and you can see it. Something has cracked. The moment Karmelo confessed on the stand, the entire tone of the trial changed. No more procedural chess moves, no more vague speculation. This is personal, emotional, and brutally real. Karmelo's voice echoes in your head. They said we could fix it. The weight of that line isn't just legal, it's moral. And now the prosecutor is digging deeper. Mr. Anthony, can you walk the court through what happened after the incident? Karmelo nods slowly. After it happened, I ran. I didn't know what to do. I called my dad first. He didn't ask if I was okay. He just said, "Where's the knife?" And when I told him, he said to get rid of it. My mom got on the phone right after. She said we could figure it out, that they'd handle it. Gasps break out from the gallery. A reporter whispers to another, "That's conspiracy." On the defense bench, Karmelo's mother begins to silently weep. She's not even trying to wipe away the tears anymore. It's as if she knows there's no putting this back in the box. The prosecutor pulls out printed screenshots, text messages Karmelo sent the next day to his father. One reads, "They're asking about the shirt. What do I say?" Another, "Should I delete the messages?" And then the final blow, a text from his father replying, "Do what you gotta do. Just don't let them find it." Silence. You can hear someone in the gallery quietly mutter, "They were never trying to protect the truth." And now, the entire country is asking, if this is what came out in court, what else did they try to bury? You're seated in stunned silence as the prosecution begins replaying Karmelo's testimony alongside digital evidence, every word now matched with data. First, a voicemail time-stamped just 22 minutes after the stabbing. Then, the cell tower pings that place both parents within blocks of the scene. But the shocker isn't proximity, it's planning. The DA paces deliberately before the screen as a group chat thread appears. The title, "Family Only, Stay Quiet." You hear a wave of whispers ripple across the courtroom. The messages are damning. Karmelo's uncle texts, "Let the lawyer do the talking." His mother responds, "Delete all backups." That includes photos. One message from Karmelo's father is read aloud. "This doesn't leave the family. If they find the hoodie or that bag, we're done." The prosecutor turns back to the jury and lays it out. This wasn't panic. This was planning. This wasn't a cover-up to avoid embarrassment. This was a coordinated attempt to dodge justice for a death. Behind the defense bench, Karmelo's mother has her head down. His father hasn't moved. His eyes remain fixed on the ground, almost as if hearing his own words played back confirmed what he already knew. There's no turning this around. But it's not just the courtroom that's reacting. Outside, social media erupts. A trending post reads, "Karmelo exposed his whole family to save himself, or save the truth." Another says, "That boy's been holding this in for months, maybe years." You glance at the jury. Their faces are pale. Some are shaking their heads. Some are staring at Karmelo, but none of them look confused anymore. And now the question rising across the country is, did Karmelo finally do the right thing? Or did he just trade his parents for his own freedom? You're watching the prosecution draw their final lines between truth and manipulation, and the evidence doesn't just speak, it screams. A single folder is projected onto the courtroom screen, labeled Surveillance Pull, 10:16 p.m. What plays next changes everything. It's grainy footage from a gas station camera just down the street from the high school where the stabbing took place. In it, a vehicle registered to Karmelo's father pulls into the lot. He exits quickly, tosses something into a dumpster, and drives off in less than 30 seconds. The DA pauses the video, then plays another clip. This time, body cam footage from the officers who recovered what was inside that dumpster the next morning. A blood-stained hoodie, a folding knife, and a crumpled note, partially soaked, with a message scrawled on it. You did what you had to. Stay silent. Gasps ripple through the gallery. Karmelo doesn't look up, but his defense attorney leans in, whispering frantically. His mother begins to weep, and his father? He closes his eyes, no flinching, just still. The prosecution turns toward the jury and speaks clearly. We believe this proves beyond any doubt that Karmelo's parents acted not only with knowledge, but with intent. They didn't just support a narrative, they tried to erase reality. You glance at the jury again, half of them scribbling notes, the other half just watching in wide-eyed silence. The footage rolls one more time. The timeline is now a noose. First-degree murder, conspiracy, destruction of evidence, it's all stacking. And now people are asking, if the family coordinated the cleanup, was the murder ever just one person's crime? Or did Karmelo's confession simply crack open a larger machine that had been operating quietly behind closed doors this entire time? You hear the courtroom go completely still as the prosecution shifts focus, not to the footage, not to the texts, but to Karmelo himself. A still image appears on the screen. It's a zoomed-in shot from earlier in the trial, showing him staring at the floor during his parents' indictment. The lead prosecutor steps forward and calmly states, "Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, we believe this moment was the moment he broke." Then they play the recording. It's audio from a closed-door meeting just days before the indictment. Karmelo's official testimony to investigators, now approved for submission. You hear his voice, shaky but clear. "They told me not to say anything. My mom said it'd go away if I stayed quiet. My dad handled the stuff in the car. I didn't even want to go home after." Murmurs sweep through the gallery. A woman audibly gasps. The Metcalf family shifts forward in their seats, visibly stunned. The words hang heavy, not just because Karmelo spoke them, but because of what they suggest. He wasn't just complicit, he was coached. The prosecutor continues. This wasn't a crime of passion. This wasn't a mistake. This was a process, planned, rehearsed, and protected. They then bring up psychological analysis reports showing how Karmelo's demeanor changed after the stabbing. Withdrawn, paranoid, emotionally unstable, while his parents remained calm and organized in public appearances. But what hits hardest isn't what the experts say, it's what Karmelo says. Near the end of the recording, "I didn't want to do it, I swear. But when I told them what happened, they said it was too late to back out, that we all had to be on the same page." The camera cuts to his parents. No tears, no nods, just two people locked in silence, stone-faced as the truth unfolds. And now people are wondering, did the parents truly protect their son out of love? Or did they manipulate him into silence for their own sake? You're sitting just rows behind the defense table when the courtroom lights dim slightly, the projector flickering to life again. But this time, it's not a legal document or a social media post on the screen. It's a private home security clip from the Anthony residence. The timestamp, just 45 minutes after the stabbing. What you see chills the room. Karmelo enters through the garage door, pale, visibly shaken. His hands are trembling. He drops his backpack by the stairs. Seconds later, his father walks into frame. No yelling, no panic. Just a steady hand placed on Karmelo's shoulder before guiding him into the kitchen. Then, the damning part. You see Karmelo's mother walking in with a phone, setting it on speaker. A voice on the other end says, "We don't have long. Say it was self-defense. Say he came at you. And don't tell anyone else anything, not even your friends." The courtroom watches in silence. The prosecution lets the video speak for itself. letting the audio echo across the chambers before pausing it. This, the DA says firmly, is not the behavior of shocked, grieving parents. This is coordination. This is obstruction. You glance at the jury. One man pinches the bridge of his nose. Another slowly shakes his head. The defense attempts to object, citing lack of context, emotional manipulation, but the judge allows the footage. The jury may consider intent, she says flatly. Then the prosecutor drops another layer. Cell tower data confirming that immediately after this call, Karmelo's mother texted a family member with the message, "We've got it under control. No one else needs to know details." In a case that has already blurred the lines between protection and premeditation, this moment becomes the most unsettling yet, because it shows the moment the cover-up began, not days later, but within an hour of Austin Metcalf's death. And now the question echoing across the internet and inside the jury's minds. If this was your child, would you help him cover up a murder? Or would you have called the police the second he walked in the door? You're standing outside the courthouse now, but the echoes of what just unfolded inside still ring loud in your ears. The doors swing open. Reporters flood forward. Camera shutters snap in rapid-fire bursts. And in the middle of it all, Karmelo Anthony, head down, flanked by marshals, tears streaking his face. Behind him, his parents follow, no longer just supportive figures, but indicted co-defendants. Their expressions say it all. His mother stares blankly ahead. His father offers no comment. It's as if the weight of their choices has finally come crashing down, and there's no rehearsed statement left to give. But it's what happens next that seals the moment in history. Karmelo breaks away slightly, turns toward the crowd, and speaks, not into a microphone, but toward the Metcalf family seated just across the barrier. He doesn't yell. He doesn't defend himself. He simply says, "I told them to stop. I didn't want any of this. I was scared." His voice cracks. The Metcalf family watches silently. No reaction, no reply. Just the raw stare of a family that's lost too much to respond. That single sentence detonates online. Within minutes, clips surface everywhere. "I told them to stop." Was it a confession, a plea, or the last act of a son trying to separate his guilt from theirs? The DA doesn't flinch. She gives one final press statement. This is no longer just about one young man's decision. It's about the adults who tried to bury the consequences. The courtroom saga may be nearing its end, but the moral aftermath is only beginning. Because now, the story isn't just about a fatal stabbing. It's about a family who thought they could rewrite the truth, and the son who might have finally had enough. So now people are left asking, if your family destroyed everything in the name of protecting you, would you stay loyal? Or would you finally speak up, even if it meant turning against the only people you've ever known?